Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? We doing pretty good. We might talk about a couple of things today. We might have to talk about a couple of things today. Anyway. Hey, welcome. All right, so we might as well jump right into this. Now we're going to jump right into this. You tell me what's wrong.
I've heard his voice. I have an MP3 file of him telling his own life story, why you felt you wanted to donate. And this was important. His willingness to be contacted when my child turns 18. So when my daughter's 18 years old, if she would like to find out her paternal identity, as I wanted to do when I was 38, she doesn't even have to wait that long and go through all that rigmarole that I had to do. Hire a geneticist, hire a detective. Here is his last known address, and he is anticipating your contact.
Yep.
Childhood photos, adult photos, keepsake essays from him, from the nursing staff, first impression, what he does for a living, his educational background, his SAT. I mean, it's just a litany. So for me, it felt like a much safer choice.
Yeah.
It felt like a more legally astute choice. It gives me much less exposure, risk and exposure. My donor, I've heard his voice. I have an MP3 file of him telling his own life story, why you felt you wanted to donate. And this was important. His willingness to be contacted when my child turns 18. So when my daughter's 18 years old, if she would like to find out her paternal identity, as I wanted to do when I was 38, she doesn't even have to wait that long and go through all that rigmarole that I had to do. Hire a geneticist, hire a detective. Here is his last known address, and he is anticipating your contact.
Yep.
Childhood photos, adult photos, keepsake essays from him, from the nursing staff, first impression, what he does for a living, his educational background, his SAT. I mean, it's just a litany. So for me, it felt like a much safer choice.
Yeah.
It felt like a more legally astute choice. It gives me much less exposure, risk and exposure. My donor, I've heard it.
Couldn't you have just got a man? You couldn't just get a man? That's a baby daddy. I thought one of the points of going to a sperm donor was to not have to involve the man that donated the sperm. You can look at a dossier to get an idea of where the sperm is coming from, and he want to see the daughter when she turned 18. That's a baby daddy, ma'am. That's a baby daddy. Let's see. A disconnect. Check. Y'all not together. Check. He's uninvolved with the raising of the child. Check. And he only want to be contacted. He's only willing to be contacted by the child when they are grown, so that he don't have to really deal with the rearing part of it. Check. And somehow this is not a deadbeat. This is not only your baby daddy, this is a deadbeat baby daddy that we just described. If for all of that effort, couldn't you just got a man? You can get a man. Because that's a lot of effort. Like I said, I thought the point of going the sperm donor route was to not have involvement of the father. The person that donated the sperm doesn't want to be bothered. They don't have any legal tie to anything, which I do believe that's still the case here. But what I want to hear his life story from. He still was a bus driver. I would love to know what he did for a living. If he was a blue collar worker, that would just send me. If he was a blue collar man. But you went through a lot of effort to, don't you think that girl gonna need that man before she turned 18? She gonna need that man. She need that man. She need him. You may not think you need him. And that's the most selfish part of it. You may not have needed him, but what about her? She need him because you didn't have your father. So you basically repeated it for all of your professional know-how, for all of your education, for all of the information that you've gathered, for all of your not settling, for all of you're going to do things differently than your mother did them. You did exactly what your mother did. You just went around the block to do it. You just went around the block. Because you didn't have your father. As you just said in the clip, you had to wait till you was almost 40 to meet and to observe and to communicate with your biological father. And there's a reason why you wanted to communicate with that man even after all of that time. Because there was some part of you that needed him. Even if just to see his face. Even if to get his side of the story. Why weren't you there? What happened? Because I needed you. Forget what mom needed, because she was grown. I needed you. I was the little girl. And whatever happened between you and mama, I got left behind. So there's a part of me missing. There's something in me that was not whole. Whether she have a good relationship with him or not. She needed to lay eyes on him. Because regardless of whatever the situation was or wasn't, I'm half for you. Half for you. So if you needed your daddy at 40, after all that time, your mama working to break your back, she was a bus driver. You understand what I'm saying? She working, breaking her back to supply and support and maintain and take care of you and all that kind of stuff. You watched her go through the struggle. You love your mama and all of that different kind of stuff. But something was still missing. You went through school. You went through it. By 38, you got your career going and all that other kind of stuff. And there was something still missing. in your life because your daddy wasn't there. And here you are at 50. And all you did was wait till later in life to do the exact same thing your mama did. Only you skipped the failed relationship portion. And somehow, is that a victory? I don't know. Because now you're bringing into the world a child. By the time that baby is 20, you're going to be 70. That man might not even be alive by the time that girl get 18. And she will have learned from you. She will have learned from you whatever ideas you have about men. And she would not have gotten no, she is in her 40s. My bad. I'm actually thinking of a couple other people. I'm thinking of Naomi Campbell. Because Naomi is how old? I forget. Yeah, Eboni is in her 40s. My bad. She is 40. So you'll be 60. That ain't a whole lot better. Naomi is 54. So by the time that baby 20, you're going to be 60. Hopefully you'll be healthy. Healthy enough to watch her continue in her adulthood. You don't know what that's going to do to that girl, not having no father. It might do to her what it did to you. Hyper focused on your education, hyper focused on your profession, hyper focused on your independence, not settling. Because Eboni, what can you teach her about how to maintain? Because the only way she's gonna do things better than you did is if she do things differently than you did. So she can't wait until she's 40 and then decide, let me go ahead and unfreeze my eggs so I can have kids because I never secured a healthy marriage. What can you teach this girl about men other than don't settle and don't do this and don't do that? But that girl need her daddy. And there's a part of him that wants to father, like not just donate the sperm, but wants to father a child. There's a part of him that wants that. And the loser is the girl. Because she's going to look for that other half. And she may be able to put together a relationship, and it may be end up a good relationship with her father, depending on how that goes. But it's still going to be missing, because where was he in her formative years when his system, order, and structure and the balance of his masculinity to your femininity would have done her a world of good? And she would have been able to strike the balance between at being educated, knowing how to take care of herself, knowing how to function in the world, but also knowing how to maintain her end of a healthy relationship. And I don't know why that's impossible or undesirable to be done. She don't be making sense. The part that got me, the reason why I wanted to talk about this was that it don't make no sense. All of that effort, and you could have been putting it in securing that girl's father for real in a relationship so that he can be with her. You passed on a generational curse. And you're not gonna do nothing but create a clone of yourself with that girl. So she gonna do the same thing because she think that's the right way. She thinks that that is a safe way. She thinks that that's the way that she needs to go. And if mom was able to do it and I turned out okay, then I should be able to do the same thing and I should turn out okay. That's how we get to 4-5 generations of females with that hyper independent mindset and cannot find it in themselves to actually have men. Speaking of Naomi, a single Naomi Campbell, listen. A single Naomi Campbell confirms she welcomed her 2 children via surrogates and don't believe they need a father to help out. While recently speaking with the Times UK, iconic supermodel confirms she welcomed both of her children via surrogates. In her interview, she self-identified as a single mom who has yet to reveal the names of her babies, a daughter and a son. Okay. And you knew she was going to get a non-black donor because just from the back, these babies look mixed. So no matter how successful these women become, no matter how beautiful they are, no matter how the world clamors after them, how wealthy, they can go anywhere, they can travel, they can, Naomi Campbell was a whole supermodel. At 54, she's still in supermodel shape. She can get on a runway right now. A whole attitude. She can't keep no man. She can't have no man, white, black, or otherwise, because Naomi looked like she wouldn't have went for a black man. She looked like she wanted a white man. She couldn't be Mrs. Cartwright either. Because as fine as she is, aging backwards, she could only get half of her life. She can only get half of it. The children have, because that's easy. Wife is hard because that takes sacrifice of a different nature than it is for kids. because you gotta sacrifice yourself for another adult, and they never love a man as much as they love children. The children don't require anything but her presence, or so they believe. They believe children don't require anything aside from their presence, and that children can't judge them, and that children can't hold them accountable to any standard. So they're able to sort of do whatever they want to do. But being a wife, you can't do that. The man can hold you to a standard and a level of accountability. You have to check yourself. You have to contain yourself. You just can't do whatever and maintain a relationship. It requires more than just your presence. And that's what they can't handle. And it can't just say it's the choice of black men. It's the choice of you had your pick of every man. Naomi has been all over the world as a model. She's rubbed shoulders and elbows with so many different men in the industry, outside the industry. I'm sure the men wanted to sleep with her because she's pretty, but couldn't tolerate her because Naomi is mean. Naomi is mean. Naomi is arrogant and haughty and mean. She got a nasty little attitude. That's what go around about her. She got an attitude. A whole attitude problem. So that's why can't nobody get with her. Cause the beauty wear off real fast when I can't talk to you. When you just got an attitude for no reason. So you just got an attitude for no reason. You got a pretty privileged attitude. But that's what it seemed like she would have. No. Why would I want? Oh, get that away from me. You know, real ticky. Everything is a problem. How could you think that I was going to go for that? That kind of foolishness. Can't never just relax. Can't relax. Relax. Just be you. Don't nobody want to deal with the facade. Don't nobody want to deal with the extra bougie, nobody want to deal with all that. When we behind closed doors, be you. They never think their time is up. She still don't think she hit the wall. She well past the wall. And not that she got ugly. It's just that her value dropped so low as a woman. They don't be believing it. When they be pretty like that, a lot of times they don't be believing they stock drop. Your stock drop. Your stock drop. It dropped, baby. It dropped bad too. You just don't know. Because you can still book a runway show, that's just nostalgia at that point. You got seniority. And by you still being in model shape, you know, you're a big name in the fashion industry. So yeah, of course you can still walk for the big name designers and all of that. But baby, your value done drop so bad as a woman, just as a woman, and they never are able to distinguish them things. They be thinking that if they value stay up in a profession or whatever, then that corresponds with their value as a woman, and it does not. Because the value of women is never judged on how much money we have and how much status we have. Men, That's a masculine measuring stick. That's not a feminine measuring stick. That's not how we measure women. Women are not, we don't get together and be like, girl, you ain't got no money, you know what I'm saying? Unless you just a bum. That's the only time we'll bring that up. Like, girl, you ain't even stable. I ain't arguing with no chick that's gotta stay in an extended stay. Girl, you know, we'll bring that up if she just a bum. Other than that, women don't be bringing up money as a status of the, you know what I'm saying? I told you what we judge each other on: beauty, you know, how ugly or pretty, and what kind of man you be pulling. What kind of man do you pull? And what do he do for you? So I just found it interesting that this is the boss chick. This is what the end of the boss chick line looked like. It's sad. It's sad. Sad little ending. They gotta go and get a surrogate or unfreeze them eggs and try to scramble them up into a kid real quick to try to get some semblance of a family life, a home life, so they don't be too lonely as they get old. I don't understand why baby mama-ism is unavoidable to y'all. Like, why y'all do that? And it's still the generational curse, because in this little article or whatever, Naomi was talking about how she was her mama was a single mom. Her mama was a single mom. Perpetuating, no matter how successful, no matter where she went in the world, no matter what she did, no matter what she learned, no matter what she saw, no matter how she networked, no matter the people she knew, no matter what was going on, she still perpetuated a generational curse. And the girl she raising gonna be a baby mama 9 times out of 10. After these messages, we'll be right back, because I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, because summertime is upon us. We even got a heat wave going on. So we definitely need to be moisturized and everything, because all of the melanin is out, all the skin is out. So if you want to be smelling nice, looking nice, feeling nice, then you definitely need to go to ashkin.com, pick up all of your personal care products, including the wonderful body butter that I always talk about. And if this is going to be your first order, then please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson. All right. Don't know how many likes I need, but y'all are bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button. Bam, bam. You gotta Go ahead, hit the like button. Go ahead, hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the membership button and become a member of the channel to support the channel and its growth. And you don't have to be, but that's why it's a generational curse. Because more often than not, the girl is going to repeat what she saw. Human beings repeat what they see. They repeat what they know. Whether what they know was good for them or not, they repeat it. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna repeat the issues. That's why they curses. This is why we talk about trying to create the best possible situation that you can. No situation is perfect, but at the same time, you don't want to make a horrible situation just because it's an imperfect situation. So even if you have a woman that raised her kids, and let's say she's doing the best she can. Let's say she's not a toxic mom and she's not a, you know what I'm saying, an unloving mother and things of that nature. If she has daughters and stuff, those daughters are going to say, well, it wasn't that bad. So even if I grow up, see, she can't emulate what she don't know. She can try to learn it later, but the comfort zone is what she learned, is in what she learned and what she saw and what she lived in. So it's a perpetuation of something that don't need to be perpetuated. Aside from that, aside from those things, typically Black women like to praise single motherhood instead of saying, on the one hand, they say how difficult it is to be a single mom and blah, 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 blah. But on the other end of it, they'll also praise it. There's nothing wrong with being a single mom, but it ain't nothing right with it either. It's a distinct disadvantage that we put children through for no reason. Because a woman will say, well, I don't necessarily need a man to raise my children. You may not need a man to be in a relationship with, according to you. That's grown folk business. However, you've introduced children into the situation and they belong to some man. Some man that they got a daddy somewhere, whether you like him or not. They got a daddy. Whether he's involved or not, whether you like that man or not. And they need him whether you need him or not. Whether you want him or not, whether you don't have to like him. Your children need him. Your children need him. They need him. This generational curse is like any other generational curse. If you watch your mother go through an abusive relationship, you may not want to be in an abusive relationship, but you might end up in one because you watched her do it. And you watched her take certain treatment. And you might know up front that this is incorrect, but you will still repeat the pattern because that's the pattern you saw. My thing is, as adults, we have to take accountability and heal so that we won't perpetuate what didn't work. Just because we ended up growing up doesn't necessarily mean that it was the best situation that our mothers could have done. They probably could have made better decisions that put us in a better situation, but they didn't do that. So now we got to spend some part of our adulthood undoing the foolishness. And these women that I'm talking about, the Eboni Kays and the Naomi Campbells, are successful in every other area. And they still managed to repeat what their mothers did, who were not successful in their work and in their education and in their money. Poor working women. You did all of that other stuff to be different from them, only to be the same, only to repeat it. What was the purpose of living a different life if you was going to repeat the same mistake? What was that? You didn't learn? You didn't understand? If you watched your mom struggle to raise you, why would you want to? You think because you think her struggle was just financial. So now, because you don't struggle financially, you're not going to struggle raising the kid. It's a different struggle though. The whole struggle didn't have nothing to do with money. The struggle was internal. The struggle was emotional. The struggle was mental. The struggle was spiritual. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. There's never a 100% to anybody, because obviously. So I don't bother with the exception actually proves the rule. The exception proves the rule. So yeah, do 100% of the people that grow up in horrible situations turn out and they do exactly the same thing? No, of course not. Somebody's gonna break out of it. Somebody's gonna learn. It's gonna click for somebody. And then you actually do stuff differently for real. Like you actually do it differently because you have a different mindset and you have a different perspective and a different way in which you're going to move in your life altogether. Not just in one or two categories, but in everything. So, of course, so I really wanted to go ahead and touch on why this is unacceptable. And younger women are going to look at these two women and say, oh, well, they did it. It's okay. It's all right. If I can make enough money, then I'll be fine. If I want to have children, I won't have to struggle with them. And we the only group of women, dare I say, we're the only group of women that don't see the deeper issue with this. Other women may fall into the trap, but they see why it's bad and why they don't want to really engage, or why it shouldn't be widespread or celebrated. So you'll have single mothers from every other demographic of women, right? There are single moms from every other demographic of women. But overall, those demographics of women understand that we can't celebrate this method of having a family, because if we celebrate it, then we won't have families. And our young girls will think this is okay, and it's not. It's actually too hard. Because we can't be the same demographic of women talking about it ain't nothing wrong with being a single mom and it's okay, and still talk about deadbeat dads. We cannot have that same argument. We cannot be talking about how single motherhood is all right and you can make it as a single mom, but at the same time talk about how these men are deadbeats. You shouldn't care. Because didn't you say you don't need them and they don't need to be a part of the children's lives anyway in order for the children to turn out right? That's what y'all say. See how the talking points crash into each other? So either the children need their fathers and it's important, or no. Right. See, nobody wants to talk about this part. Nobody wants to talk about this part. She be so exhausted because her energy has been expended to the maximum elsewhere. And when she comes home, she can't be mom. This is what I meant by doing that video I did a little while ago by saying single moms can't be good moms. See, I wasn't talking about whether or not she loved her children, but she can't give her all because she done gave so much of her energy so many other places, to when she comes to her children after expending her energy in every different direction, her children are the straw that breaks her back. And now she irritated. She just irritated. And all the children are doing is being kids. They're being normal children. They're not doing nothing abnormal. But she's already completely agitated and she's up to here. And so if the child do make a mistake or they do something wrong or whatever the case may be, or they need help more than they usually do, you know what I'm saying, they need help with whatever, or they have questions or they need her to engage with them to do something else, blah, 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 she's already agitated. Hey, Miss Lady, I was thinking about you. Because I know you stepped back from the whole YouTube thing, but I was thinking about you, sweetheart. How you doing? You good? No, I miss you. Right? I hope you're doing good. I hope everything is going well, sweetheart. Why we don't know this is a problem? You know, I was going to talk about some other stuff too. But I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I don't know if I want to save it or not. I'll take this time to give you a little quick update. I am going to have to do what I didn't want to do in terms of making an audio book. I think people are gonna get their wish with me being, I'm gonna read my own audio book. So at this point, I don't know when I'm gonna have the audio book, because the reason I have avoided it was because it was a workload that I didn't want. And I don't really know how to record that. Like, it's rules to that's a different kind of recording. And so I didn't want to do that because that's going to be months of work. It's just because now I got to find the time, and now I have to find the quiet, and now I have to find the way in which I can, the software I can use to record and things of that nature. I tried twice to get women to record for me, and every time the women are so unreliable. The women are so unreliable. You start in with working with them. So I wasted months actually with 2 prospects. One didn't ever really respond. The other one did. And I worked with her. I gave her a time frame. We were in communication, was working with her and stuff like that. And when it came time to actually turn in some of her work so that I could go over it and make sure that the readings were what I needed them to be, it was a no-show. She stopped communicating and I couldn't get it done. And so I wasted months because the audiobook actually was supposed to be done by May 1st. And that obviously didn't happen. So I would not dare get AI to read. Just because I hate the way AI reads. So I'm unfamiliar with the audio book stuff. Like I said, it's more of a time thing, because where am I going to find the time? I need hours. I need chunks of time to master it and make sure. And I just didn't want to do that. I call myself getting a professional to do so. And the way in which the women were so unreliable and flaked out just really was like, ugh. The book is on sale on my website. So you can go to my website and purchase the book. So I'm going to have to find the time and the energy to read for an audiobook. And I don't know how I'm going to do that because I have so many other things on my plate that need to be done that are audiobook. Okay. But in any case, it's just what I have to do. But I'm still working on creating shirts and creating, the imagery and the designs for the shirts and things of that nature and other items that I want to sell. Once I get a few designs up, obviously, I'm not going to put them immediately for sale because I want to check the quality of them before I offer it to the public, just to make sure that they're up to par to be sold. So that's going to take a little bit of time. But the process seems relatively easy to do that. Yeah, definitely knock it off. Definitely knock it off is in there. So I'm gonna try not to overthink the shirts and just because I want a lot of them to be like definitions and hashtags. You know what I mean? But I also don't want them to be boring. You get what I mean? So just a little bit of update on what's happening behind the scenes and the stuff that I kind of had my heart set on the audio books being available, especially by now. And the fact that it's not, it just kind of bothers me. But I get what you're saying. Thank you, JoJo. So that baby will never have the chance to be daddy's little girl. Not if he's so uninvolved with raising her just because she wanted a child. Thank you, healthcare. So keep up the good work. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mogul. I appreciate you. Thank you, Eugene. So when those children get older and they see other children with their fathers, what will go through their minds? Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Missing. The beauty is truly skin deep, I guess. And thank you, Lord Senators, that take your time. Excellence can't be rushed. Thank you, marriage, politics, and sports that are unspoken issue with these single mom elites. Is more than a few of these women turn their sons into girls. Sad but true. So, yeah, y'all are pretty much gonna get y'all wish with me narrating my own audio book. I'm just hoping that I can do it properly because it's rules to the upload and how the files gotta be, and I absolutely cannot have background noise at all. And then you kind of have to master it after you're done, like you have to clean it up, and I'm just not adept at that. I just but anyways. They say it's a good side hustle. Go to acx.com. That is Amazon's audiobook side. acx.com, and you can become what they call them producers, the people who actually do the readings. So I don't know all the rules in registering yourself to become a producer, but that's how you do it. So I think I covered. I want to, at some point, I think I'm going to talk about the guy who was on that balloon popping show. I'll probably talk about that Friday. That balloon popping show, boy, that's something. I found the YouTube channel with the whole shows on there. I need to do a dating show. Shoot. Everybody doing a dating show. I ain't gonna be no good hostess for that though. I'm gonna be too busy coaching folks. So you want that, beloved, to the dating thing? See, that's not gonna work. So, baby, why you got your breasts? Why you got your breasts out, baby? Mm. Thank you, Steve, for your contribution. I appreciate you. The story, I can cover it, but it's something about it that's not adding up to me. I don't know what it is. It's something about that in that whole thing that's not, there's something off. There's something off about that. I don't know why it's off to me. It's like I'm waiting on like more information. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just some. I don't know. Do anybody else feel like that about that popping thing and like the backlash? I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I might be reaching. But anyway, I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's that. I don't know. I don't know what part of that is not sitting right. Because I mean, I'm kind of just taking it at face value at this point. So that's why I decided not even to cover it today because I could have. But it's like, don't say nothing about that. Don't. Because, okay, see this, right? Part of that was he said, I can go right now and pull 100,000 out of the bank. I remember specifically him telling one of the girls that. And then you get fired because the women was harassing, I guess, the job, or they was calling up at the job. And then you immediately needed a GoFundMe. But if you have $100,000 stashed that you can actually pull and put your hands on, because if I had $100,000 cash that I could go put my hands on, and something happens to my job, then I've got a cushion, and that gives me time to do what I need to do in order to recover so that I can continue to get an income. Because $100,000 cushion is a heck of a cushion, even in this economy. So I'm not surprised if they got him fired. That seems par for the course for hyenas. That seems par for the course for hyenas, right? A hyena would definitely call and get a man fired. So that doesn't seem odd to me. That seems right along with what a group of hyenas would do. Thank you, L2 said, do the dating show. I could see you doing a dating show. I'll support Miss Kendra D. Thank you so much. So I don't know. It's just something about that story. I'll wait on maybe the full thing. Because I'm not saying nobody's lying at this point. I don't have a side. Because I don't know. So therefore, I don't have a particular opinion, a definite opinion that I'm no hill I'm willing to die on. So I don't know. Not hyena why not insulting them before they get there. Thank you, you times. Good evening, Sister Davis. I personally don't think you should do a dating show because the dating shows today are worldly, not spiritual. I don't know. I'm most likely not gonna do no dating show. No way. And they probably shouldn't. And it's sad because I don't. It's sad because people do need to like talk to each other and come to places where they can talk to each other and meet each other and stuff. I'm not a big fan of dating shows of any type, right? But that just setting it up to fail. Y'all silly. Anyway, I'm out of here. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.